What's up guys? The Sephora sale is upon us, and actually as I make this video, I believe it starts for Rouge tomorrow. So like I have done with previous Sephora sales, I wanted to make a video with my recommendations, but keeping things interesting with this video because as I was organizing all of my recommendations, I was basically going through everything that I've purchased since the previous sale because I figured I've talked about any purchase made prior to that. I've probably already talked about recommending in a previous sale video. So I was going through those most recent purchases and I found that I can really organize a lot of them into categories, and in each category there is a pretty clear winner and sometimes a loser. Sometimes there's just a winner that I want to recommend based on your preference, whether it's the finish of the product, the texture, the utility of a product. There are some nuances there, but in some cases there are some winners and losers. And so this is gonna be kind of a this not that recommendation video. So let's go ahead and dive in. First up, foundations. There are two foundations that I have been loving lately, mentioned them a couple times in favorites videos recently, that I recommend you pick up during the sale if they sound like they appeal to you. First up is the Lancôme Teint Idole Ultra Wear. Mine is in the shade 330. I think that's Bisque Neutral. And this I really like because talk about, I mean, truly a long wearing foundation. It gives you shockingly natural looking coverage, like very buildable. It will absolutely conceal and cancel out any sort of discoloration you have while still looking pretty natural and like second skin. Gives you, I would say, a demi-matte soft satin sort of finish. So I really like it for days when I want more coverage but still keep it pretty natural looking and definitely on the more matte side of things. The other one that I recommend is kind of the polar opposite. It is a CC cream from Lancôme. It's their UV Expert Mineral CC cream. Mine is in the shade 2, and this I love because it gives you a surprising amount of coverage. Again, still looking very natural on the skin, much more glowy because it does feel more like a cross between a lotion, like an actual SPF lotion, with your foundation, but not like a tinted moisturizer. You get more coverage than a tinted moisturizer, and then of course you have that sun protection in there too. It's just a really beautiful formula, and it's actually what I'm wearing today on my skin. Now, I recommend both of these if everything I just said sounds like it appeals to you and what you're looking for in a foundation, but they are not cheap, which is why the Sephora sale is a great time to pick them up. If even after the discount though, the price still comes out to being over your budget, I do have an alternative you might be interested in, specifically for VCC Cream. That is a newer foundation that I've tried from Believe Beauty. This thing is $5. This is the Believe Beauty Skin Finish Foundation. They sent me this, mine is the shade Soft Beige. They sent me one lighter than this to try as well, but Soft Beige is my match. And these are foundation sisters. The only difference is SPF. So if you want everything that the CC cream from Lancôme has to give, but you don't care as much about the SPF, or you're willing to apply some other SPF you might have underneath, if it means you only have to pay $5 for the same finish and coverage and healthy glow, then go for that Believe Beauty. Kind of weird, I didn't really know how I felt about including something not from Sephora in a Sephora recommendations video, but I had to because it's seriously so good, and it's in your exact dupe for that CC cream as long as you're not looking for SPF. Now for concealer, this is actually a category where I don't have a loser, I just have a winner that is in fact the only product that I'm currently planning on purchasing it all during the sale because I need to restock. This is my Charlotte Tilbury Magic Away Liquid Concealer. Mine is in the shade 3 Fair, and I have been loving this for the past few months. I had cycled through my Tarte Shape Tape, moved on to something more affordable in the L'Oreal Infallible Concealer. That I couldn't really stand the fragrance of, so I then moved on to the e.l.f. Camo Concealer, which quickly dried and crusted up on me, and so I just grabbed this. It was within arm's reach, so grabbed it and kind of fell in love with the lighter texture and consistency. Still gives good coverage, but is a little bit more glowy and natural looking, and now I prefer this over going back to something like the Tarte Shape Tape, which although gives flawless coverage, is actually a little bit too much for me right now. So I have now gone through a full thing of this and will be repurchasing. Next up for brows, again, no real losers here. Just know that I would be repurchasing the Anastasia Dip Brow Gel in the shade Medium Brown if I hadn't just already repurchased it during some promo or sales Ulta just had. Like I already have one in my drawer back there on standby, but would recommend it if you're looking for a good brow gel. Let's see. This next product is so conflicting. It is both its own best and worst, and you'll see what I mean when I tell you about it. It's the Huda Beauty Resting Boss Face Waterproof Setting Spray. It's a win for me because it is by far the best and most effective setting spray I have ever used. It truly does mattify, set your face in place all day, and it's especially handy when I'm using more dewy makeup on my combo skin like the CC Cream or the Believe Beauty Skin Finish Foundation. Like, it has been an absolute makeup saver for me during this hot summer. However, it's a total failure when it comes to the scent. It's overpoweringly scented, and it's not going to work for people that have sensitivities to that, whether your skin becomes sensitive with using heavily fragranced products, or if you get like headaches and stuff, you just don't like using makeup that's overly fragranced, especially around your face, because the scent does linger throughout the day. It is going to be an absolute fail for you there, and unfortunately I don't really have another setting spray recommendation for you because I have never encountered a setting spray quite like this. The other sprays that I've used do a good job at taking the powderiness out of my makeup and making it look like my makeup is more one with my skin, but never done as good a job, or really any kind of job, at helping extend the life of my makeup. So this is a real winner for me in that way, but unfortunately it is just not going to be for everyone, which sucks. Moving on to body glow, however, we have a real showdown here, folks. So I have the Huda Beauty Nymph. I have raved about these before. I absolutely love them. They, I think, are truly waterproof, darn near transfer proof against pretty much everything. And they make your skin look so gorgeous and ultra dewy, glowy, goddess-like skin even. I recommend you buy these over that, which is the Patrick Ta Major Glow Highlighting Mist. I purchased 2 of the shades. Even though it says for face, I've seen them. He has a body oil, but I've also seen him and a lot of other people use these across the body as well. The 2 shades I have are Look at Her and We Love Her, and Look at Her actually leaked in my drawer that I kept it in. I was keeping it sideways, and there is nothing left in here now because it's just, I don't know. I hadn't used them a whole lot. I still have We Love Her, but this one, first fail, totally leaked in that drawer. Second of all, because it's a spray, it's like a shimmer dispersed in a spray. When I found that I would go to spray it on my face, or my body for that matter, it would really set on and cling to hairs. And so if I would go and pat it in with a brush, it would lose that shimmery effect that you're supposed to have straight out of the can as you spray. And that's not bad if you're constantly shaving or dermaplaning, but even if you are doing that, I mean, I always have some constant form of hair growth or stubble on my face, and it's always going to get caught up in that. Or your hairline. Even if I hold, you know, He Has a Fan, or you hold just something else around your hairline to keep it from getting in there. I just found that this didn't play well with the natural texture of my skin and the hair that grows on it. So if you're looking for beautiful, glowing, goddess-like shimmer for the face and body, I totally recommend you go with the Huda Beauty Nymph over the Patrick Ta. Now moving out of the face, let's talk bronzer picks real quick. I have another, maybe the last pick from Huda Beauty. This is her Tantor Cream. I have the shade Light. I also got the shade Fair, which is way too light for me. Light was a perfect match, and this I have talked a lot about here on the channel, but it is that good. So this is kind of a mousse-like cream contour that part of the reason why I like it is it blends in flawlessly with your makeup. Like, no matter what I've applied this over, you might think you applied too much. No matter how much you apply, it blends in so beautifully with your skin. And the great thing is you can wear it over a full face of makeup for a really sculpted glam look, or this is actually a cream product that applies really well over bare skin. If you just want a little bit of extra brawn, tan, healthy glow, but you don't want to go full face glam, this looks just as good without, which I can't personally say that for every cream, you know, mousse sort of bronzer I have. Oftentimes they're too glowy or they're too waxy. They don't really blend out as evenly. There's just something about this mousse texture that you could wear this under any condition, with or without any product you want, and it's always going to look fantastic each and every time. If, however, you are not into creams or you want more finish options, I recommend you go with my next pick instead, which is the Cover FX Monochromatic Bronzer Duo Matte and Shimmer. This is another one I picked up relatively recently, and like the name suggests, you get the same shade of bronzer, but in both a matte and a shimmer finish. This will give you your powder formula if that's what you're more comfortable working with, but at least you get the option of having a true matte, like a soft focus matte finish finish that really does a good job at bronzing but still blurring everything out. Or you can go full on glow effect and apply this to not only the hollows but the tops of your cheekbones as well for more of a glowing golden effect. And I find that mixture of textures also makes this perform really well, not just as a bronzer but also as an eyeshadow. If you want to just run a combination of the two, like the matte in your crease and the shimmer all over your eye, this functions a lot better as an eyeshadow, I personally think, than something like the Huda Beauty Tantor. On to blushes. First up is the Natasha Denona Bloom Blush and Glow palette. This is what I'm wearing today, and I absolutely love it for the variety of shades and textures you get in here. You have two cream shades, blush and glow. The blush shade is ultra pigmented. You do not have to worry about layering this too much to get exactly the pigmentation you see in the pan. In fact, every time I use it, I actually dilute it a little bit with the glow shade just to make sure I'm not overdoing it on my cheeks. And you can totally choose to just wear the creams. They look beautiful worn alone, or they act as a really phenomenal base for the two powder products you get in here too, which can also be worn alone. One of which is called Duo Glow, which has a beautiful peach base with a strong gold shift, great for an amazing shimmery blush slash highlight situation. And then there is Glow Xtreme, which despite the name, I mean, yes, it glows extreme, but I feel like in all the swatches we see out there, it's very glittery, and I just don't think that is, when you actually wear it, it rarely looks like that on the skin. I just think it looks so much more natural than it might seem in the pan. So this I like and would recommend for the person who's looking for that mixture in finish and texture in product. But I have another one of these monochromatic matte and shimmers, this time in a blush from Cover FX in Mohave Mauve. I've worn the pants off of this shade because it's such a good everyday shade for me. You get, once again, that matte shade along with that shimmer shade. This is a really good, oh, I should have included this one in my shimmery blushes video. I just did a video about shimmery blushes, and this absolutely should have been thrown in that mix because this shimmery blush can really be layered to give you this exactly this pink mauve peony shade, but with a beautiful lit from within glow to it. So gorgeous. Plus you get the benefit of having both finishes in there. And then my last pick for blush, really these are just major multitaskers, are the Lancôme Monochromatic products. I always forget what to call these because they are actually multi-purpose eye, lip, cheek products, and I have three shades that I love all of. I have A La Mode, which is a beautiful medium to deep shimmery bronze shade. This I typically like to wear on the eyes. However, relatively recently tried wearing it as a bronzer, and with a super light hand, it actually looks pretty good as a shimmery bronzer across the skin. I also have Soire. This is not available at Sephora. This I picked up at Nordstrom, and I know some shades are exclusive to certain retailers, so this might be exclusive to Nordstrom, but if you're looking at picking it up, still a really pretty shade I recommend, especially for the cheeks and lips. And then the last one, Magique, is phenomenal. This is a beautiful iridescent shimmery shade. It's obviously frosty white, but nothing about this comes off as white when you apply it. It is all about the soft pink purple prismatic shift that comes with it. So pretty, whether you want to wear a wash of it on your lids, wear it as a highlighter, wear it in the center of your lips if you want to accentuate, make your lips look more full, apply your lip product, and then just go in with a little fingertip of this in the center of your lips, both top and bottom, and it just makes them look so multidimensional and a little bit more full. So these are phenomenal if you're looking for multitaskers but care less about having that variety of finish and texture. Oh, before we move on, totally spaced, you actually can use the cream shades in this Natasha Denona Bloom palette as lip. In fact, that's what I'm wearing on my lips today. I took a little bit more of the glow and a little bit less of the cream blush and just used my finger to pat that on my lips. This, however, I will say does not last quite as long as the Monochromatic shades. I don't know that these were specifically formulated to be used on the lips. I just know that in her tutorials, Natasha has used them on the lips, so I tend to occasionally, but they aren't as long lasting when it comes to lip application as something like those Monochromatic individuals. All right, let's end this video with a good showdown. This time talking about the eyes. The Natasha Denona Chroma Crystal Liquid Eyeshadows. I bought all the shades in the collection, did a review of these if you want to see them, and they're not the worst things out there, they're just not what I expected, which if you want to skip that whole video, that in a nutshell is what I think about these. Not bad, but they're not the high shine metallic shadows that I expected based on all of the marketing materials they share. If you try and build them up to be that metallic, that high shine, like smooth looking sheen of metal across your lid, they become so crumbly, so cakey and just like Fallout City so fast, it's not even funny. And so it was kind of a disappointment because while they do make really pretty shimmers when you blend them out across the lid, I wanted something that looked like a solid sheet of metal across my eyelid, you know? And for how much they cost, I feel like you should really be able to get what you expect. The winners here, in my opinion, are the Kaga Moon Crystals. I have 4 shades from the collection, and while these are actually supposed to be a little bit more on the shimmery side, at least it looked to be that way over the Natasha Genoa, I find that I can layer these so much more easily and not experience that dryness and flakiness that the Natasha Genoas were giving me. And you still get these super incredible shades. 2 of these are actually duochromes. Here I have Rose Quartz, which is like this fiery pinky orange with a beautiful gold shift to it. Then there is Magic, which is a turquoise base with a purple shift to it. The one that I'm wearing all over my eyes today, which is the shade Tiger's Eye, it has a gray brown base with this interesting green shimmer that really comes through the more you buff and blend it in across your lid. Then in the center of my lid, I went and applied the last shade that I have, which is Goddess. This is more like a classic champagne shade that you can use for highlighting. Apply it all over your lid, sheer it out if you want a nice wash of color or really build it up for a high shine metal, but I just prefer all of these either sheared out to be more shimmery or layered to be a really smooth metallic finish across the lid, way more than the Chroma Crystal liquid eyeshadows. So those are my picks. I technically have one more honorable mention that I purchased since my previous recommendations videos, but I talked so much about this that it's going to be no surprise to anyone. The Vizier Grande Pro Volume 2. Anytime there's ever an opportunity to pick this up on sale, I always recommend it just because it's a gorgeous palette, but it is not inexpensive. And so any chance you have to get a discount on it is a good one, I think. So if you're looking for a really pretty palette with a lot of textures, definitely consider getting this one. I have lots of videos about it though, so rather than going on about it here, I will just link to those if you want to see more. But yeah, always a good solid pick in my book. And that's it, my Sephora VIB recommendations. This time, this or that style, I don't know. The more we got into it, the more I feel like that format kind of fell apart. Let me know what you think. If you enjoyed it, if it was worth doing again in future videos, let me know down in the comments below. Besides that, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye, guys.